Hi everybody, my name is Davyd Farrell and I'm a quantum plant alchemist and plant shaman. And I'm going to be sharing with you today a little bit about the nature of plant immersions. This is ahead of the upcoming Artemisia immersion that will be starting on the 13th of September and running through until the 25th of September. This is actually the second in a series of 4 immersions that were given to me and some of my friends and colleagues recently as a guide or a pathway through the immense astrological transitions and aspects that have been happening recently as part of the great shift that is currently underway here on the planet, which is really part of a much bigger piece about how humanity is going to evolve into a much more non-dualistic or 5D consciousness kind of space. I'm sure many of you who've seen me before will have heard me talking about many of these things with many of my friends and colleagues across the various podcasts and shows that I've been doing, particularly recently. And maybe some of you are even aware about the recently completed Dandelion Immersion that myself and some of my very, very profound, wonderful expert friends shared a lot of information through. Now, there was a series of 4 immersions that were originally given. The first one was Dandelion, and Dandelion really wanted to bring us into a place of being centered, being in our hearts, being connected to our royal noble heart, the lion heart, which really also connects us to our 5D consciousness, because that's also the place of unconditional love, which is what we hold in our hearts. Dandelion also wanted to show us the design of our energy and to show us that there is only the present moment. And when we're present, we can start to see the flow of our life much more clearly. So this was the first piece in the jigsaw. Many people now actually are already going back and looking or revisiting at the Dandelion Immersion because the material is still available. But now we're coming to the second piece of the jigsaw. And this is really beautiful because this is the way the plants often work. And we're now going to be working with the Artemisias. So Dandelion is a very solar, lunar, yang, solar, very yang external kind of energy, quite masculine. The Artemisias are much more yin, much more feminine, much more lunar, much more in. So we're going to be balancing back out our energies of lunar and solar, masculine and feminine, with this second series of plants in the immersion sequence. Now, rather than being one plant, this is going to be a complete clan of plants, the Artemisia clan. And I'm sure many of you out there will have already seen the very beautiful piece that I did with the Ascended Master Zach, channeled by my lovely friend Janet Trelawa, which actually was the second in a piece of, second in a series of pieces of information that me and Zach shared about the nature of quantum plant intelligence. So the second immersion is really focusing on this plant clan, the Artemisias. So I just want to talk a little bit about the Artemisias in a minute as a kind of a preview to what's going on, and perhaps as a way of putting out some energy to really hopefully resonate with many of you out there. This is a big piece that's coming through the Artemisias, and it's designed to work at the individual level. It's also designed to work at the collective level. The third and fourth immersions that are on the horizon will be over the Samhain period, working with the elder tree or the elder mother, which is actually the second from last tree in the traditional Celtic or Norse Ogham alphabet. And then the very last tree in that alphabet is also the yew tree, Taxus baccata. And that is going to be the tree that we'll be working with over the period of the immersion, which will be around the winter solstice period. All of these immersions are taking place on very, very powerful astrological alignments. There's a deliberate reason for this. And one of the aspects that we're going to be working with these future immersions that was given to us is working with the 13-day Mayan wave spells. This is a really important part of the process because what we are trying to do is layer in another level of magic. Each day within the 13 days of the wave spells will be designed specifically to attune you on each day to a specific type of energy that will sit within the container space of the immersion. So through a series of transmissions with my expert friends, which include herbalists, astrologists, moxibushionists, dream decoders, yoga specialists, and many other interesting areas that will be relating to this incredible plant clan. There will be a series of transmissions across the period of the immersion, which will then drop in different pieces of information, which will help you access the energy and the wisdom of this incredible plant clan. We will also be encouraging you to take into your system various different types of medicines from the plants, either tinctures, teas, capsules, and or essences as well. And one of the things during the immersions, we'll be showing you how to make some of these medicines, particularly tinctures. Now, what I want people to do is also to really connect with the plants themselves. And so if you want to find out how to make an essence, that was one of the teachings that was given during the Dandelion Immersion. And again, all of the plants are all sequenced in a certain way. So there is a kind of a series here of learning how to do certain things and how to empower yourself with these medicines. So I want to talk a little bit just briefly as an introduction to the nature of the Artemisia medicines. They have many, many qualities, and I'm going to be sharing a lot of those during the immersion myself. I'll also be talking from a quantum plant healing perspective or a plant spirit healing perspective. But these are incredibly lunar plants, very feminine, as we talked about before, but they have many different qualities, and some of them are super relevant right now. And the first one I want to share is about the detoxing quality that the Artemisias have, which is really about detoxing parasitic beings, including actual parasites in your gut or in your body, but also at the energetic and spiritual level. We live in a time when we are really suffering from a very strong parasitic energetic problem, and the Artemisias are stepping in right now to help us remove those parasites from our physical bodies, but also from our energetic bodies. And this is where working with the dandelion beforehand has created this kind of centering and grounding and rooting. And now the Artemisias want to step in, and they want to help us cleanse out of our field some of these unhelpful frequencies or energies or even beings. We're also living in a time when there is a lot of very difficult information to work with, a lot of very challenging aspects to our daily life. And, you know, particularly if you are at all even watching what I call the hallucination box, otherwise known as the television, it's possible to start absorbing many unhelpful narratives that are perhaps not going to serve us and actually are perhaps designed to serve others better. One of the great qualities of the Artemisias is they help us to see. They really help us to open the third eye so that we can see what is going on more clearly in the energy realms, particularly in the astral planes. And that aspect of the plants is going to work very well with another aspect of them, which is of realignment. The Artemisias are well known for bringing realignment into our life. They can also bring realignment into our physical bodies as well. I've seen that happen more than once, particularly with people's backs. But the idea is that the plants bring alignment into our life. And when we have that clarity and centeredness and we've cleansed our field, it's much more easy for us to become aligned in ourselves, aligned to our true selves, aligned to our destinies and what we're here for. You know, the two great questions that my teacher, one of my magic teachers, put to me always was like, who are you and why are you here? And I think that this must be the ultimate time to find out who you are and why you're here. And these plants really want to help us with that. They also want to help lift some of the, well, not some, they really want to lift all of the negative energies that are currently affecting many of us in different parts of the world from the environments we're in. We're dealing with a lot of very, very dense, heavy, difficult frequencies. And that can perhaps lead some of us into feeling a little despondent, maybe even a bit depressed. But this is also partly down to the level of the parasitic energies. If we are suffering from parasitic energies in our lives, in our fields, or even in our bodies, this is going to lower our frequency down and make us more susceptible to perhaps absorbing from other places, including the television, those narratives that are not really ours. This is a time, as Dandelion showed us, again, this is one of the reasons Dandelion came through first, is like, find out what is your truth, be in your center, be in your heart, be connected to your higher mind. And when you are, everything starts to become more clear. But when you start working with the Artemisias as well, you get another level of clarity and clearness. And that's a big part of this process with the immersion. It's going to help each and every one of us at the individual level to start cleansing the body of blockages, energetic blockages, even physical blockages. These are plants that work on the mind, body, and spirit, and they cleanse at each of those layers and levels. So across the course of the 13 days, I myself will be sharing a lot of information through various transmissions. I will also be holding several live sessions where we'll be able to discuss with all of the people in the immersion stuff that's going on. Sharing is caring, as we say, and also to bring other threads in, and also to hear what's going on for everybody, because it's also an important part of this immersion is the collective, family, tribal, clan aspect. And I often get many emails from people saying, oh, you know, it's really wonderful to hear about this work and to hear about other people working with plants, because I often feel like I'm on my own with this and I haven't got anyone to talk to about my connection with plants. And this is a time when I feel like many of us are looking for our spiritual family, our tribe, our clan. And these plants also want to show us how they as a clan have spread themselves all over the world, and they've adapted, and they have become often, in many cases, very connected to the cultures that they're in, the indigenous cultures, very often all over the world, from Japan to North America to South America, even here in Central America and Mexico, you know, down to Africa, all over Europe, and down even to Australia and New Zealand. These are plants that have pretty much got into every corner of the planet. And in almost all cases, they've adapted themselves to the local cultures. They really are, I think, some of the most magical plants on the planet. They really specialize in magic and allowing us to experience what is magic and how to bring it more fully into our lives. And when, again, you work with Dandelion and the Artemisias in tandem, you can really start to work the manifestation magic. They also show us how unhelpful magic can also be affecting us at the individual level or at the collective level. And one of the pieces about the immersions, particularly this Artemisia immersion at this time, is that we want to come together to hold a space all over the planet where we are anchoring the Artemisia energies. But I love these plants, and I love that they each have their own personalities. And when I've worked with them, I've often found that they're deeply connected to the local population and the indigenous cultures. So it's also actually a way of accessing more about our global brothers and sisters and different medicine practices from different parts of the world. So these are some of the themes that we're going to be exploring during the immersion. It's really a big moment for humanity. We have the autumn equinox coming up, or in the Southern Hemisphere, the spring equinox, otherwise known as the Libra equinox. And already what is happening, many people are joining the immersion and reaching out and connecting through the Artemisias with each other, with me, so that we can start to hold a very, very strong space with these beautiful, as Zach the Ascended Master said, uncorruptible plants. And this is a time when I would dare to suggest that we need to be working with these kinds of incorruptible, pure, crystalline energies that then can help us to shift to a different space. And if we can do that at the individual level, but also do it as a collective, then we really also have the possibility to start raising the vibration of the planet by contributing in this way. And I know that many people, many light workers, many healers, shamans, medicine people all over the world are also contributing in various ways. And this is a time when it's a collective effort. We are now trying to shift very strongly from the old paradigm into the new earth. This is it. This is the moment. We're right in the middle of it. It's not going to be kicking the can down the road to 2024, 25, 2030, 2050. It's right now. And these next 3 months are super important. The astrology shows us very, very clearly what is about to happen. If you've been following any of my astrological previews with the likes of Pam Gregory, the wonderful Pam Gregory, who is also sharing so much right now. Also other amazing astrologers like Kelly Hunter, who I've been doing recent shows with and who's going to be part of the immersion as well. We just did a beautiful piece connecting the Artemisias to Black Moon Lilith and the nodes of the moon, because the lunar energy is a big part of the Artemisias. But we're also going to be working with herbalists, with moxibustion. Moxibustion is a process from the Chinese tradition of working with mugwort and acupuncture to push qi into our body. So we're going to be looking at the physical aspects, the spiritual aspects, the emotional aspects, and how these plants can help us. But we're going to be doing it for ourselves, but by holding a space together, myself and the team of incredible teachers that I'm working with are going to be helping me to hold the space. And we're going to be doing that over the course of the 13 days. And of course, 13 is also a very magical number. So there are many different aspects to this, but I just wanted to put this little video out to share a little bit about the nature of the immersion, because many people have been asking me questions. How does it work? Also, just on that note, you know, each of the transmissions that's put out through the group, the special immersion group on my website, quantumplанthealing.com, which is where you can also sign up to the Artemisia immersion. within that group, all of the transmissions are all recorded. Now, there is definitely a daily flow to how does this work, but also if you happen to miss, one of the live sessions, it's recorded. Each day, there's also a little meme or a slide that's put out about the energy of the day. There's also going to be a different Artemisia assigned to each day because they all have similar energies, but they also have their own personalities. And so there's a layering here of energies, of magic, of intentions, all designed to help release, to cleanse, to realign, and to invite the magic into our lives. So if you have any questions, please do feel free to reach out to me at Davyd, D-A-V-Y-D, at quantumplанthealing.com. You can also find out more information about the immersion on the website, which I've already given you. I do strongly recommend, if you haven't already, to watch the video that I just recently did with the Ascended Master Zach and channeled by my friend Janet, and also maybe to look into some of the recent astrological pieces, particularly the one that I just did with Pam about the upcoming Libra equinox, because as we both point out, this is a time of choice. And the plants really want to give us a different option, a different choice. And they've shown very clearly with this series of immersions that have come up how this can be done. So I thank you for listening, everybody. Please do reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm really excited to see already so many people connecting with their local Artemisia, sending me pictures. And yeah, this is truly a time to step up, be part of a global plant family, the Artemisias, but also to create our own global plant family. And I think that this is also a really important part of this process that we're in right now. So I look forward to seeing hopefully many of you in the immersion space and learning more about the Artemisias from your part of the world, and to connect with all of you, and also to help the collective at this time through this challenging period of astrological energy that we've got, and also always to remember that there's always a higher note or a higher octave that we can reach with the astrology, but also within ourselves as part of our let's say our mission, our individual missions here on Earth at this time. So thank you for listening, everybody. I look forward to seeing you very soon. Take care for now.